She moved in with her new boyfriend, and within weeks, he unalived her baby. The tragic case of 9-month-old Emily Beringer. Trigger warning. Emily was born 8 weeks premature on Thanksgiving Day 2015 to her mother, Amanda Atkins, and to an unknown father. She had 3 older siblings, a 7-year-old brother, a 6-year-old sister, and another 2-year-old brother who adored her. In the summer of 2016, Amanda moved her family from Maryland to West Virginia. She didn't feel like her previous home was safe enough to raise children, and she really just wanted a fresh start. But soon after moving, Amanda met a seemingly nice man named Benjamin Taylor, Benji for short, and he swept her right off her feet, so the pair began dating. Yes, this was getting serious very quickly. They both began posting pictures of them kissing, going out to eat, and spending time with her children. Amanda was falling in love, and Benji was making his way into her family, playing husband to her and daddy to her kids. Benji had moved in with Amanda just weeks after she moved to West Virginia, and no one could imagine the horrific scene that was about to unfold. This case is about to take a very dark turn, and I mean it's going to get very bad, so viewer discretion advised. October 2nd, 2016, Amanda and her 3 older children went to bed around 9 p.m. Now, Benji decided to stay up because he wasn't tired, and neither was baby Emily. So Amanda left the baby in her baby swing in the living room as Benji was doing laundry in the basement, and she went on to bed. At some point in the night, Benji went upstairs and got the baby from the living room and took her down to the basement with him. So Amanda wakes up around 4 a.m. the next morning, and she quickly realizes Benji is not laying next to her in bed, and her daughter is not in her crib either. Amanda didn't know where either one of them were, so she figured maybe they just fell asleep on the couch the night before. So she went downstairs to check, but neither of them were in the living room. So Amanda went down into the basement because she remembered Benji had been doing laundry in the basement the night before. The lights were dim and she couldn't figure out what was going on, so she asked Benji, "What are you doing?" And Benji replied he was drying the baby off. And she asked, "Why would you be drying the baby off this early in the morning and in the basement?" And that was when she noticed there was something wrong with Emily's face. So she walked over towards Benji and Emily, who were on the floor, and that was when she realized her baby was covered in blood. Benji was shirtless, kneeling over her daughter's nude body with his pants unbuttoned. So Amanda quickly snatched her baby up and smacked Benji across the face and yelled, "What the F did you do to her?" Emily was cold to the touch, so Amanda took her upstairs and called 911 and told the dispatcher she's bleeding from her private area and I think he R-worded her. In the 911 call, you can hear Amanda screaming at Benji, "What did you do to her? Why was she naked?" And when first responders arrived at the home, they found the baby cold, unresponsive, and not breathing. Amanda told the police right before they arrived, Benji was trying to wipe some kind of substance off of his groin area with his own t-shirt. So an officer made him lift his shirt, and that was where they found a big patch of red substance on his stomach and groin area. Benji said he must have gotten this while picking the baby up while trying to help her, but police found more on his thighs and legs. Emily had lost so much blood during this attack, police officers on the scene said it looked like something out of a horror movie, and several officers would need therapy after this happened. Emily was rushed to the hospital where doctors pronounced her brain dead, and Amanda held her baby for 2 whole days until she finally made the decision to take her off life support on October 5th, and Emily was pronounced dead. Medical staff determined her traumatic injuries happened hours before 911 was called, so this baby suffered a lot at the hands of this monster. An autopsy was performed, and it was concluded that Emily had suffered extensive bleeding and tearing, and that she had been R-worded by an adult male. That monster physically destroyed her. He ripped her apart. The police would find Emily's DNA along with male DNA that belonged to Benji in her diaper that was laying on the floor, which was soaked in a red substance. Her blood and his male DNA were the only ones found on his pants, her clothes, blanket, and diaper, proving that no one else was physically involved in this attack. Emily had also suffered very traumatic head injuries, suggesting that either she had been thrown to the ground, slammed against a wall, or hit with a very heavy object. And her cause of death was ruled as skull fracture or head trauma. Now, a neighbor who lived right next door said around 12:31 a.m. they heard a baby screaming to the top of her lungs, and it went on for so long that they started to call 911, but once they picked the phone up, the baby stopped crying, so they didn't call. Had that person called 911, they probably could have saved her, but how could they have known what was going on? Benji told police he drank 8 beers and smoked a little grass with Amanda before she went to bed, but the first deputy on the scene said he did not appear intoxicated at all. Benji said he took the baby downstairs with him, but the last thing he remembers was doing laundry because he had blacked out. Benji also claimed he blacked out at least 10 times for around 30 to 40 minutes at a time, or around 5 to 6 hours at a time, but he wasn't sure because he just couldn't remember. Benji said he also didn't remember washing her blood down the sink to conceal evidence, but the police would soon learn that Benji is a fucking liar. The police took Benji's phone and learned that he'd been watching porn from 2:52 a.m. until 3:17 a.m. He had also made several calls and texts to his family before the police arrived. He called his brother at 4:54 a.m., just 6 minutes before first responders arrived at the home. Benji responds to his brother, "Dumb shit, don't worry about it. I'll be dead sometime." Benji had even called his mother and said, "I love you" and goodbye, and then hung up on her before the police arrived. He was also overheard saying, "I know I'm going to be punished for what I did to her, so this whole I blacked out shit is a complete lie." So he's got enough sense to play on his phone, watch corn, and call and text his family, but he doesn't know what he's doing and can't call 911 for a dying child? So Benji was arrested and initially charged with first-degree SA, but that was later changed to murder, and he was placed under a $2 million bond. Now, once he was arrested and the public found out what he did, this case spreaded like wildfire. The public was infuriated, and they demanded West Virginia bring back the death penalty because they had abolished it some time back. The public demanded the state make a special exception in this case, and they wanted him hung outside of the courthouse. Benji was placed in protective custody because they knew he would never make it to trial if the other inmates got a hold of him. So Benji finally went to trial in 2019, and he came to court wearing a bulletproof vest, a helmet, and shackles for his own protection. The defense brought in some character witnesses to defend him, claiming he's a really nice guy. We don't think he did this because he never hurt our kids. His baby mama testified she didn't think he would do something like this because he never hurt the son they shared or his stepdaughter, and she didn't even worry about her daughter's safety around him. Benji's father told the court he was proud of who his son had become and that Benji wasn't violent, aggressive, or inappropriate in any way. His father had the nerve to say he couldn't believe that the police and first responders described Amanda as hysterical the day her daughter was attacked because when he seen her at the house, she was cool, calm, and collect, and that was a damn lie. The police, the doctors, and first responders all testified when they got to that house, Amanda was a damn wreck, and she remained a damn wreck right on up until her daughter was taken off life support. She was anything but cool, calm, and collect. She was even overheard on the 911 call, frantically screaming and ranting at Benji. Then Benji's mom tells the court that Amanda was so overly hysterical, she thought Amanda was faking all of her emotions. So which is it? Dad claims she's not showing enough emotion. Mom claims she's overly hysterical. Lie much? And his enabling toxic parents would actually accuse Amanda of setting Benji up and causing him to go to jail because, for whatever reason, she just wanted him to go to jail. His parents said there was no way he did this because he never hurt his own child or the kids in their family. Y'all do know that most abusers don't usually go after their own children. They typically target non-biological children in the home. Just more enabling parents making excuses for the predatory sons. And I'm not saying that Amanda didn't make mistakes because God knows she made a lot of mistakes. She should never have jumped into this relationship. She damn sure shouldn't have moved him into her home around her children that soon. She should have gotten to know him first. But she did not unalive her daughter. He did. Even after hearing all the evidence that his DNA was the only DNA found in her diaper, blanket, clothes, and on his pants, his parents still tried everything they could to get him off with a lighter sentence, but it didn't work, and the judge showed him no mercy, just like he didn't show baby Emma Lee any mercy, and they sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now let's take a moment to remember 9-month-old baby Emma Lee. She was a sweet, loving, innocent little girl who was just starting to say her first words, she was still babbling, and was taking her first steps learning how to walk. Emma Lee was a happy baby with a beautiful smile. Of course, she was doted on by all of her siblings because she was the baby of the family and they all took care of her. Look at this picture where she's looking up at her older siblings. She loved them so much and they loved her too. Emma Lee loved watching cartoons, playing with her siblings, and cuddling with her mommy. She was a mommy's baby. Baby Emma Lee had her whole life ahead of her, and this monster snatched it away. He should be on death row. Parents, the next time you're dating someone new and you think you're in love and you want to move in with them after knowing them for just a few weeks, I want you to come back and watch this video and look at sweet Emma Lee's face and remember her story. Stop giving these predators access to your children. Only you can protect them.